the reason I wasn't doing things because I was worried about what people thought of me.
Yeah.
So that was my first thing I needed to overcome. And I knew I needed to step out of my comfort zone. So I needed to be involved as much as possible in as many things as possible. So I think, that whole being afraid was a huge thing for me because I knew I had to do it.
And I think, I think it's something that you're very good at doing now is that sort of personal brand.
Yeah.
Putting yourself out there as much as, the salon's got your name on it, but above and beyond that, you're on podcasts, you're doing other things in publications, and I think you've understood the investment in your personal brand and how that can have a huge effect on what you're doing. To the Kelly Lundberg podcast, a very different podcast because we're actually doing it in person.
Amazing.
We're trying something different on this episode where we wanted to have a one-to-one conversation, but in person rather than online.
That's it.
So we're trying it out. Let us know what you think. But Janet, it's great to have you. Finally, we've made this episode work. So why don't you give everyone a little bit of a backstory as to who you are and what do you do here?
Okay, so my name is 𝗕𝗿𝗄𝗁 and I've been in the UAE for 13 years. I am the founder and managing director of 𝗕𝗿𝗄𝗁 Salons in Abu Dhabi. I have 3 salons. We are just currently in the middle of launching an online education program as well as an in-person academy, which focuses on not just skill set but the other stuff, we like to say. We think the 50% is just what the skills are, it's the other 50% that's missing. And then also we're just about to launch our first male and female salon right here in Dubai, so we're very excited about that.
Because that's something actually in the Middle East, you're one of the first, is it not?
Yeah, I think there's maybe one other. Normally, when it comes to a male and female salon, you'll only ever find them in a hotel. So for me, coming to Dubai, obviously, I really needed a strong why behind it. And for me to, for us to evolve as a brand, I felt that, this male and female mixed salon, not only for the staff, but also for, clients coming in,
trends, I imagine, and all of this sort of kind of
bringing it together.
Yeah, nice. So then we're going to get into asking some questions about what it takes to set up and launch a salon.
Yeah.
It's quite a competitive space in this market,
I'd
imagine. It's kind of like, it's the done thing. Like here, everyone gets their hair, their nails, like it is just.
I mean, back in the UK, people, as a salon, you struggle to get people in for colour, let alone nails and pedicures and stuff, Here we are, very, very lucky. Personal care and how we look is a big part of everybody's day, day in and day out life. So, it's a big thing, the beauty industry, which is great for me.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's go on that question though. Yeah. So in a space that is quite competitive, how do you stand out? Because I think there's probably people listening right now, maybe, I don't know, they're a coach or an interior designer or a stylist or something where there's PT. Lots of people doing it.
Yeah.
How have you managed to grow and stay different from everyone else?
I think, it comes back to, why do we do things? Why are we doing this? And for me, it was, going back to the very, very beginning, it's taken me a long time to work it out, but my main focuses always were my team and my clients. Yeah. It's taken me a few years to evolve that mission and vision and everything, but it was very, very clear in the beginning that was what it was always about. And for that, we've really started to grow on that. It's about, for the clients, we make sure it's a safe space for people to come. It's not just about how people look, it's about how people feel. So we do a lot on all of those things. And then the team, the team is, the main part of any business. So again, for me, it was working out very quickly, how do we build these girls? How do we make this culture so strong? And I think it's a big part of my journey also, through my 20s, I suffered with mental health and didn't really have much direction. So for me, it's really taking that, how I felt, and being able to support these girls or men that are going to be coming to work with us as well. Like, how do we build their careers? There's a big thing around hairdressing that it's not really a career.
Really? Yeah. I thought it was something that people do go into and you stay in it for a long time.
You do. I mean, it's not so much we don't think that. but you know, people, if you say to people, oh, what is your job? You know, what do you do? Like for me, people I don't know, I don't tell them exactly what I do. You know, I just am a hairdresser, you know, and you can instantly see they're like, oh, right, okay.
And they make an
opinion.
opinion
They
or
make
something.
an opinion. You obviously didn't do very well at school.
Is that what people think?
Yeah, it's just that, you know, it's especially out, you know, somewhere like this, you know, it's a very high-flying, powerful place, isn't it? But what we do, you know, and everybody in the industry will tell you completely differently, you know, how we build these beauty salons, these hair salons, but you know, how we build our careers and everything, it's, you know, it's very different to what a lot of people think, you know, and the power that we have to change how somebody feels. You know, and you understand that.
From the style space and the makeover. You know, and then people always say, you know, oh, I feel great after I've had a haircut. You know, it's always that kind of the change piece. I wanted to just touch back a little bit. So you said quite a few things in that. I was like, oh, let's ask a question. What are some of the examples when you of what you do to make people feel great, whether it's the team or the clients coming in? What are some of the touch points?
Yeah, so firstly, sort of going back to the clients, you know, we believe that the hair is just 50% of what we do. You know, you can go to anywhere and get good hair. But it's the other stuff, you know, it's the other stuff. Like, we are the only people that can advise people, you know, on face shape, skin tone, you know, all of those things. And I think a lot of the time, you know, people are going in with pictures and stuff and they're just, I want this. And then the hairdresser's like, sure, yeah, no problem. You know, what people aren't looking at is how they live their everyday lives, you know. Are they a stay-at-home mum? Are they, you know, somebody that goes to the gym a lot? You know, all of those things. It's really sort of taking, you know, somebody's life, you know, and how is that going to work for them?
Their lifestyle.
Their lifestyle and everything, you know, and also uncovering a little bit about where this is coming from. You know, they're wanting a big radical change, you know, is it coming from a place of, you know, thinking a quick fix is going to help other issues, you know, which is again not the best way to do things, because somebody could be really struggling at home and think, oh, I'm going to change my hair, I'm going to feel so much better.
You're like, it's a bigger piece than that.
Yes, a bigger piece. Like, believe me, I know. So yeah, it's really sort of understanding who you have in that chair and what do they need, you know.
You need a degree in psychology and become that sort of therapist. I used to say that about styling as well, that a huge part is sure the skills. You need to have the skills, but you need to be a people person.
Have to be, yeah. So
and
a lot of training on that.
Right, okay. And is that where you've seen then maybe the mistakes or things that you can do better that's brought you to the point where you're launching your own academy?
Yeah, and then that, I mean, the academy is, we go back to the staff here. You know, I again believe, and I went through this in my 20s. You know, I've always had so much to give, but there was a lot of stuff that held me back. You know, and it's the other stuff, the day-to-day stuff. You know, how we feel about ourselves. You know, have we set the goals? You know, mental health, mindset. And just really, really understanding that we can be anything we want to be in life, you know. So this is where the academy came about, because my personal self-development journey has all been about education. You know, from a business perspective, but also personal. And the more, you know, I kept an open mind, and the more skills I brought to myself, the more I've been able to achieve. So this was where the academy came about. You know, I don't just want to teach people how to cut hair or colour hair, because we can be the best at that, but if we haven't got the other stuff, whether it's the communication, whether it's the business, or whether it's mindset, or you know, some life coaching and stuff, this is where that all came from. So it's an all-round education program. It's a 360 approach to personal development, to skills as well, but not also that, you know, it's opening it up to other people, and whatever level they may be. Are they an assistant? Are they a junior stylist? Are they a manager? Are they a salon owner? And I think that's, you know, we were talking about this competitive place, and again, like I know that there's enough room for everybody. And collaborating and everything with people just makes you stronger.
So when someone comes to the academy, which is what we're talking about, that could be a salon, or it can be an individual person. There's no, it has to be a company buying in for their team or whatever. You'll have programs running on that space. How interesting. So just to touch back on that personal development piece, and I think even a bit more back to investing in yourself and maybe the sort of the mental health and the challenges from there. So maybe how did you start to manage? Because I don't think the word overcomes probably.
No, it's an everyday.
Absolutely. So did personal development play a big part in you managing that, or how did you get to the point of where you are now?
Well, I opened my second salon, and I was like, wow, like, what is going on? You know, I had a mental breakdown. I had a 6-week-old baby, and I knew that I needed to do something different because I couldn't sustain this pressure that I was putting on myself, plus trying to make a week. So that's why I started.
A good mom.
Good wife, all of it. So this is where I started to uncover. I went to like a seminar. You know, they do great seminars here, don't they, in Dubai? And picked up my first book. You know, and then
what was that book?
The first book was Miracle Morning.
Oh yeah, 𝗕𝗿𝗵𝘁. Yeah, so good.
And they had like an empowerment event here in Dubai, and I was like, wow. I've been looking at things completely the wrong way.
Wow.
I just thought that, you know, it's not that life owed me something, but this is just how things are. I didn't realise at that point that you can literally become anything you want to in life with the right mindset.
It's like no one had shared that or you know.
I was like, wow,
this is game changing.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I'll never forget that. They're onto something here. Everybody's sort of saying the same things, you know, and but just tailoring it to for them.
So that was your first book then. What was the next one? When were you taking the next path?
The first book, so after that it was just literally any course, anything that I can possibly do. So first of all, it was about growing my business. I knew that I needed to throw myself into everything within the industry, because again, I realised that the reason I wasn't doing things because I was worried about what people thought of me. So I had to. That was my first thing I needed to overcome. Professional beauty, they had the industry awards. That was a big part. I remember going for business director of the year like 5-6 years ago. Oh, it was awful, my interview. Terrible. I could barely speak for one, and what was coming out of my mouth, I was like, oh my god. But anyway, last year I won it for the second year in a row.
Amazing! Congratulations.
Yeah, so that was, you know, a big part. And I knew I needed to step out of my comfort zone. So I needed to be involved as much as possible in as many things as possible. So I think, you know, that whole being afraid was a huge thing for me because I knew I had to do it.
And I think, you know, I think it's something that you're very good at doing now is that sort of personal brand. You know, putting yourself out there as much as, you know, the salon's got your name on it, but above and beyond that, you're on podcasts, you're you know, doing other things in publications, and I think you've understood the investment in your personal brand and how that can have a huge effect on what you're doing.
Totally, because again now with the new business ventures that are coming up, and again that was a huge thing for my growth as well, like I hid behind my brand. You know, I
so many people are guilty of that.
So I knew, I was like, I am not going to get any further, and I've got massive goals, so I'm not going to get any further unless I overcome this and start to step out and build this brand. And especially from an education perspective, you know, we are to clients in the name we have in Abu Dhabi, you know, people come to the salon, but if I have any chance of, you know, building what I envision this to be, people need to understand who I am and where it's coming from. So that's the whole, you know, the idea behind it. And now obviously we're stepping into Dubai as well.
Big shoes.
Big shoes,
So in that sort of capacity of like big dreams, big visions, like what is the plan? So have you got a sort of, you want to open 10 more salons, or what's the?
I mean, I have a huge vision for the education. You know, within 2 years, I want to be in different countries. You know, I want to have 2 in-person academies. I want it to be full-time running every day. I have a team of educators. You know, build it a business in this. So I believe in where it comes from because I understand the support that we can give people from, and I think this is the thing in many industries, people are afraid to collaborate with something that's similar because they think that they're going to take my team, or they're going to take my secrets, my clients.
Yeah.
But you know, from where this comes from for me is, you know, again, you know, it could be the same. I could feel the same, but I believe that we all sit very, you know, unique. You know, and we want to be able to show other salons and other business that just find your why and your niche and what you do. You know, nobody would really feel that way about the other businesses. You know, and it's just sort of teaching them as well that they can also, you know, grow their business as much as possible as well.
What's been some of the best things that you've done to grow your business? We've talked about, you know, sort of that investment in your personal brand.
Yeah.
Would you say it's been advertising? Would you say it's investing in people? What would you say it's been
The people.
Yeah, as in investing in the staff to get them, the team to come in, because that gets the people coming back.
Yeah.
Even then, how do you get the people in the door first then?
The staff,
the clients.
The clients. So obviously we believe that the hair is just 50%. So you know what we do and how we talk to these clients, it comes from a good place. We're not going to recommend anything that is not right for them.
Okay.
You know, we believe in price transparency. So we quote before we do something. When I did a lot of market research on this and a lot of mystery shopping, and the reason a lot of businesses lose clients is one, because the other stuff is missing, there's no advice, and the second is price, because they get to the till and they're like, wow, where did that come from? You know, all the extra add-ons, because a lot of people think, you know, oh, they're just coming for this or this, but if we're not being completely transparent about all the services and everything that we are recommending, when they get to the till, some people don't care, but you know, there's a lot of people, we have to understand people's time and money is valuable. So that time that they spend in the salon, you know, whether they're a stay-at-home mum, businesswoman, it's important that they feel that, you know, and then also from a price perspective, you know, we're not making judgment that this person can't afford this, or they've got loads of money, or this or this. It's about, you know, being transparent with how we work and how we do things.
That's quite rare. I don't know.
No, there's not. Yeah.
Salons would be like, we're going to add this on, we could do this, we can do this, and it's going to cost X, Y, and Z. Because you do often get to that point. Sometimes you go to the salon and you're like, oh wow, yeah, what did I have? Can you remind me? And taking it to the next level. So I really like that piece on the transparency.
Yes.
So they understand that when they come in.
Yeah, and if it doesn't work for them, or you know, we can say, okay, don't have the treatment today, we can do it next time. And you know, just making it clear that, giving them hair plans and future visits. You know, this is where we are today, but next time we'll only need to do this. The time after that, we'll put you on a 3-visit rotation. We'll get you booked back in 6 weeks. So you're covering all the boxes. So you're getting the retention of the clients because they're invested in.
We want to get to that point, yes.
Yeah, so we've got that, and you know, we're transparent and we want to fit people's budgets. Yeah. It's not about the end of the month. Okay. It's about getting them back in.
Nice. Okay, so for those that are listening, just to kind of recap this, I think there's some really interesting lessons for other people, regardless of their business. So we've got, you know, super transparency.
Yes.
Investing in people.
Yes.
And I think investing in people as in the team, but also the clients, like that journey of investing in their future. The next 3 times you're going to be here, this is what we're going to work on, and getting them booked in for that. Yeah. If you could look back at sort of the 20s, maybe when you were kind of going through sort of some of the challenging times, what would you have told yourself then? What you know now? What would you have done differently, or what would you go back and tell Tara at 20?
I suppose, you can do anything you want to do. You've just got to start to believe in yourself, and you can. You know, it's about building your inner confidence and peace. And I think that's a lot. We live in a place of outside most of the time, how we look or what people think. But it's about going inside and just looking at, you know, these inner thoughts that we have, and just turning them. You know, and there's so much help out there as well these days.
There wasn't. There wasn't, or hasn't been. It wasn't as accessible. Yes. But now you can go to YouTube. You can download a podcast. There's so much
for free. You know? I've had business coaches. I've had life coaches. I've had all of that. You know, I'm obsessed with learning. Which is very funny because at school, you know, I think this is where a lot of my issues came in, because I was never very smart. Well, smart.
In the traditional
In
sense
the
of what you
traditional
think
one,
is smart. Yeah.
So you get struck off very quickly, and I hated learning because it wasn't the way I learned.
Yeah.
So now it's funny, you know, going back from that to now is like, I love to learn.
Yeah,
I
me
love to
too.
learn. Yeah.
Me too. And I remember leaving school thinking, oh yeah, I never have to
Yeah,
read
pick up a
another
book.
book and do that again. And
Yeah.
then it's just a complete 360, the amount of books I've read or listened to an audible
Totally.
or it's just a game changer, just a game changer. So what's the plans for the next few months? I know you were talking about the academy. When do the doors open? When does the new salon open? What's happening?
Okay, so the salon, we're just currently waiting for planning permission. So we're hoping for December to be open. It's going to be 2 floors, so it's going to be a really big space. It's in 𝗕𝗿𝗃𝗁 industrial estate, right on the outside, so the location is perfect. It's just off of 𝗟𝗏 and you're there.
Yeah, nice.
So planning permission for that, we're going to have, you know, the space for the open salon. We'll have a VIP area, we'll have beauty rooms, treatment rooms. Upstairs we'll also have a barber's, and then also we'll have a academy space as well.
So it's going to be in the okay, awesome.
Everything in one go. So after doing it 3 times in Abu Dhabi, I just want to be able to have everything under one roof
space.
here.
Yeah. So then, if you've done it 3 times, what are some of the things that you won't be doing, or that you will be doing to get it into the space that you want?
I think, you know, every time you fit out a salon and open one, you make so many mistakes, but then they turn into lessons for the next time.
Yeah.
You know, so the 4th time around, and even we opened our academy space in Abu Dhabi as well. You know, I've learned so much from that.
Yeah.
What's missing? What's that? So I think, you know, there's never mistakes, is it? It's always lessons. So that's, you know, never really beat yourself up about little things that you've done. Like now with Dubai coming, I believe that all the things and all the mistakes that you make is why I'm now coming to Dubai.
Yeah.
Because I really understand what we need in there.
And they're ready for you in that space now.
Yeah.
With what you're going to do.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I wish you the best of luck. Thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you
on the
for having
podcast.
me, Kelly.
How can people find you? Apart from in Alcos and the industrial estate, for those that are outside.
So I have obviously my LinkedIn, which is 𝗕𝗿𝗁𝗁𝗁, and also my Instagram, but then we also have the salon, which is 𝗕𝗿𝗁𝗁𝗁 website and Instagram.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being
Thank you,
part of
Kelly.
it. Thank you for listening, everyone. Thank you for watching, and until next time.